The word unprecedented should come with a warning label. Caution may cause analysis paralysis, learned helplessness, and constitutional amnesia. When you hear unprecedented, your brain is getting permission to stop thinking, to throw up its hands, to believe that the framers, 248 years of jurisprudence, and the entire architecture of constitutional democracy have nothing to offer us in this particular moment. I'm calling it out. Unprecedented is my least favorite word of the year. And today, I'm going to tell you why and what to do when you hear it. I'm Sera, and this is Ethos Trek. Let's start with what unprecedented actually does to us psychologically. When a pundit, a politician, a news anchor, or a creator says, "This is unprecedented," they're not just describing events. They're activating something in your brain. They're telling you there's no playbook for this. No one's ever dealt with this before. You can't be expected to know what to do. And that's a trapdoor. It drops you into helplessness. Here's the thing. Almost nothing is truly unprecedented. When someone calls something unprecedented, what they usually mean is one of three things. One, quote, "I don't know the precedent," unquote. Fair enough, history is vast, but that's different from the precedent not existing. Two, quote, "I don't want to look for the precedent," unquote, because finding it would require work, or it might lead to uncomfortable conclusions. Three, quote, "I want permission to ignore the tools we have," unquote. This is the dangerous one, because when there's no precedent, there are no rules, no expectations, no accountability. The word gives everyone, citizens and officials alike, an escape hatch from responsibility. Let me give you some examples of things that have been called unprecedented in recent years, and the precedent that actually exists. Executive defiance of court orders. Andrew Jackson, Worcester v. Georgia, in 1832, when the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Cherokee sovereignty. Jackson allegedly said, quote, "John Marshall has made his decision. Now let him enforce it," unquote. The precedent for executive defiance of court is literally older than the Civil War. Using the military for civilian law enforcement purposes. That's exactly why we have the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878. Congress saw this coming 147 years ago. The precedent is so well established that we passed a law about it. A president threatening to expand the Supreme Court. FDR's court-packing threat in 1937. It was so effective, the court changed its jurisprudence. The famous, quote, "switch in time that saved 9, unquote. Constitutional hardball, pushing the limits of what's technically legal. The entire Reconstruction era, the nullification crisis of 1832, the Alien and Sedition Acts of 1798, just 7 years after the Bill of Rights was ratified. The precedent exists. The question is whether we're willing to find it and use it. So why do we rely on precedent in the first place? Why does our entire legal system depend on it? There's a Latin phrase, stare decisis et non quietum movere, means to stand by things decided and not to disturb settled matters. In America, We simply call it stare decisis. Means the same thing, to stand by things decided. Precedent does 4 essential things. First, predictability. You can plan your life when you know what the law means. You can make decisions about your family, your business, your rights, based on what courts have said those rights are. Second, stability. Precedent prevents chaos every time the composition of a court changes. Without it, every new justice could throw out whatever decisions they personally disliked. Third, legitimacy. Following precedent signals that decisions are based on law, not politics. It's what separates a court from a legislature. Fourth, humility. Respecting precedent means acknowledging that past judges weren't fools. Their reasoning, tested against real cases, real consequences, deserves deference. When we abandon precedent or pretend it doesn't exist by calling everything unprecedented, we lose all 4 of these things. Here's your critical thinking exercise for today. The next time you hear someone call something unprecedented, whether it's a news anchor, a politician, or a pundit, ask yourself these questions. Is this actually unprecedented? Or is the speaker unfamiliar with the history? Who benefits from it being framed as unprecedented? What precedent might exist that I could find with 10 minutes of research? Because here's the secret. Finding precedent is empowering. It means the problem has been faced before. People have thought about it. Solutions have been tried. Some worked, some didn't, but you're not alone in the dark. Unprecedented is a trapdoor word. It drops you into helplessness. But we're not helpless. We have precedent. We have history. We have a constitution designed for crises. The framers didn't know about the internet or nuclear weapons or TikTok, but they knew about power. They knew about ambition. They knew about the human tendency to consolidate authority and the need for checks against it. So the next time someone tells you something is unprecedented, don't accept the trapdoor. Ask, what is the precedent? Then go find it. Analysis paralysis is a choice. Action is also a choice. Choose action. Thank you for listening to Ethos Trek. If you like this content, please like this video. Consider subscribing. Leave a comment. If you think someone else might enjoy this content, please share.